It's debatable here on MLBBro.com.
It's debatable. Yours truly, the MLB OG, Mark Gray. That is Manny Ramirez Brown, Chicago White Sox longtime executive. MLB bro Kenny Williams has won a World Series as head of said organization, but he pretty much got his papers, as did Rick Hahn. Was it time for Kenny Williams to go?
Yeah, I mean, I think, when you spend 20-something, almost 25 years at the helm of an organization, sometimes you just need a new voice. Sometimes you just need a new set of eyes. Kenny Williams has been there a long time. He's had tremendous success. This is in no way to denigrate Ken Williams. I think he's an incredible GM. I think he's an incredible executive. He's won a World Series. He's got a good reputation across the game. But it was time to go. It just, something hasn't been working with the White Sox for a long time. But it wasn't all Kenny Williams' fault. But at the same time, he oversaw this team that has completely plateaued over the last couple of years. Bad managerial hires, upheaval in the clubhouse, players not performing up to their standards. And you can sit there and say, well, it's not the GM's fault necessarily, but at the end of the day, he's the top lieutenant. He's the guy right under the owner that is running that team and running that franchise. And when things don't go well, somebody's got to pay the price for that. And unfortunately, it had to be Ken Williams.
And let's not forget the meme of a baseball lifetime. But I think that there's enough blame to go around. I mean,
well, we don't know that. We don't know that. He fired Rick Renteria. He fired Rick Renteria after the COVID shortened season. That team really, was on the cusp. They hired La Russa. They botched that hire. Now they hired Pedro Grifol, and that hasn't worked. So, I mean, you could sit there and say he didn't necessarily break up a dynasty, but how do we know that he didn't, divert a potential dynasty in the wrong direction because he made bad managerial hires?
And I just wonder who was at the helm for those hires. Are those hires more Reinsdorf, or are those hires more under the purview of Kenny Williams?
La Russa, I think, was definitely a Reinsdorf hire. That I do. You don't hire a guy like La Russa and not get buy-in and sign off from the owner. Now the other ones I'll put on Williams.
Even Robin Ventura.
Yeah, I mean, even Robert Ventura. I mean, I think those guys, I mean, listen, the owner obviously has the final say. He's the one that's writing the checks, so I don't want to make it sound like Reinsdorf. Listen, I'm not here defending Jerry Reinsdorf. Like you said, this is the same guy who broke up the Chicago Bulls. Do with that information what you will.
He did.
Do with that information what you will. Listen, I think that, I think if you gave Kenny Williams truth serum, I think he would probably say, you know what, it was time to go. 25 years in one organization at the helm. Maybe it's time for a fresh set of eyes. I don't think this was a bad move by the White Sox. Now the issue is this can't be the elixir. This can't be we fired Ken Williams and Rick Hahn. Okay, that's it. Now we're back. Now we're done. No, there's other issues going on in this organization that need to be addressed, and they might have to start with the owner.
Wow. Well, he's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere.
Trade nor cut himself nor designate himself for assignment. But he's got to find a way to excite that crowd. And maybe they just have to do a full-blown reset, get them one of those analytical geeks like another guy who's enjoyed a little bit of success on the other part of the city. You might know him as Mr. Epstein. So they may have to start rethinking their position on how they're developing talent, as well as finding the right manager.
But that's the thing. They have the talent. They're not. It's not a lack of talent for them.
Manny, they just went from one of the top farm systems to like 20th in the league. That's a precipitative drop over the course of
No, I understand that. I get the minor league depth is not there. It's not what it used to be. But that roster, that major league roster, still has talent on it. So it's not like they're bereft of talent.
But you're going to have to cut some bait. And the question is, do they have enough based upon what, the players that they let go and then thought they were acquiring good talent for and things like that just didn't work out.
For more right now, go to MLBBro.com.